They would be right here.
No, that's, you're right. Like content, I go through some of the content. If I have nobody left.
Okay, and then the slide, just gotta click there.
Oh, I can't use the,
I only have 2 ports. I can't use the clicker.
no, I can't use this. Nope.
Understand.
You gotta, oop,
Fair enough. Okay,
but your notes should show up here too.
yeah, I'm gonna leave it.
So you got yeah. You got it, so it's not. All right, does everybody have an agenda? If you don't, Jordan will be walked around in and out. No dedicated. So on the back table, back here, there's copies of, the September 6th membership meeting minutes and, some copies of our treasurer's report. We've had a comment in the past that people want more transparency as far as the budget. We want to make sure we made that available to you. We do have this meeting scheduled from 2 o'clock. We're probably going to get started just a little bit early.
I can reach this one.
Really? As long as I'm talking now.
Yeah.
Okay, good. We're going to get started just a little bit early to get you guys out of here on time. We've got a lot of information to cover. So we've got this scheduled from 2 to 6 p.m.
Beautiful. We're changing midnight.
So just sit back, make coffee here in about an hour. So, all right. So I'm going to call the meeting in order. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Can I get a motion?
Second you.
Jordan People seconded and just repeat it. And we've got a majority.
Yeah, majority. All right. So the first thing we want to do is recognize everybody. This is going to take me a minute. So welcome to our final COSWA meeting of 2023. Obviously, we like to get together and eat and then have our normal meeting. First thing we wanted to do is make sure everybody knew everybody. So my name is Derek Johnson. I'm Stormwater Manager for Oklahoma City and also the COSWA Chair. Jordan, do you want to introduce yourself?
I'm also the women's city and the community coordinator.
Rebecca, do you want to knock it out first row?
Sure. Rebecca Gallen, City of Oklahoma City, Stormwater Quality. I'm the Assistant Superintendent, also the COSWA Treasurer.
Miles Bungle, engineering manager for the municipal wastewater enforcement section. Name on from the
Parks over there, the park coordinator.
First phase one more program, your city and one.
Dave Mercer, work under Miles in municipal wastewater. I was formerly, or I guess in the form of the torch is being handed. It was previously Monica and I were co-municipal coordinators. Monica, with Texas and got a new start there and, I'm handing the board to the governor. If you don't really over you, that's what everybody.
Claudia?
I don't know, water quality. Jason Vogel, civil engineering, environmental finance.
Miller, City of Vincennes.
Caitlin Miller, the litigation mother. In the hope that the city is University of States on Neil,
Thank you. Who's time, is it somebody's first time here? Just well, welcome. Make sure that you guys take some time, get to know everybody. Like I said, we've got a lot of things to cover. One thing I always like to read is our mission. And I know you got out there, read the mission again. I think missions are important. So our mission is to provide provide resources and platforms for the COSWA membership to reduce the impact of contaminated stormwater through stewardship activities, projects, and programs. Oh, I probably should have led off with you, but Holly, if you wanted to come up, and we have some business we have to take care of, both from a membership meeting that we didn't vote on and one that we needed to go ahead and vote on, take care of that business. So if you want to take care of that real quick.
We have one more person that joined us. Could you introduce yourself?
Yeah,
I'm Laura Mazzal with the city of Warren.
welcome.
So you have coordinated this room for us. So.
Thank you.
I'll each just stand by the microphone.
Yes.
Okay, so the membership meetings for June 7th, in my recording and through our minutes, we reviewed them, but we never took an actual vote from them. So I'm going to re-review them and vote. So we voted and approved on March March membership meeting minutes, as well as March and April financial reports. And then Jordan Peebles reviewed the COSWA annual report that day. And Derek Johnson reviewed meeting motions passed to that date of from the board. And then we went over the election nomination process for the board, for COSWA board. And we just introduced that to you guys and told you how to go about nominating yourself and or someone else. So I would like to make a motion to approve the June 7th, 2023 membership meeting minutes. Can I get a second? Michaela?
Yeah, say it. Who seconded?
Oh, Michaela Newland seconded. Can I get a vote, please? Okay. Majority vote. And then we need to review minutes for the last membership meeting, which was September 6th of this year. So September 6th, we actually did our elections, and so I passed out the nomination forms and we elected Katrina Butler as our officer at large. We also voted on June membership meetings, which we reviewed but didn't actually vote. And we tabled 3 treasurer reports for May, June, and July. We also discussed the Home and Garden Show, which will be from January 19th to the 21st of this or next year. We said the sign-up genius was out, and we talked about our 2-hour slot volunteer areas. Then the Rain Barrel event, we just spoke about how the planning is underway, and we'll discuss more about that today. And then we had guest speakers, Mile Mungles, Anthony Hamilton, and Wayne Crane. So I would like to make a motion to approve the September 6th membership meeting minutes. Can I get a second? Julie Shannon seconded. Can I get a vote? And majority.
All right. So for those of you who are online, and I don't know if we have somebody online?
Yeah.
Oh, excellent. Online and who are not here, we did provide 2 Lifetime Service Awards, one to Wayne T. Craney and the other to Raymond L. Melton. Certainly appreciate you guys. A little bit about our board, and sorry, I have to stand here so they can hear us online. A little bit about the board. We had our second official elections in September of this year, where we did, as Holly mentioned, we did have a change in our at-large officer to Katrina. Katrina, would you please say your last name? Bowler. Okay. So one thing that we did want to promote is we have an opportunity in any agenda, any of our COSWA board agendas. If you guys are interested in coming, talking to us, griping, whatever, all you have to do is email us. We do ask you to email us a week to 2 weeks ahead of when we're planning our next board member meeting, but we want to hear from you on those things. I put the COSWA email address. There's like 3 or 4 of us who check that daily. So, and also our website, and there's our Facebook. There's more to come on social media. So our scheduled board meetings, we have 12 scheduled this year. These are the dates. I believe we're going to post these slides up on our website. So there's no need to spend a ton of time on that, but just lock it in. We have it. It's usually the 3rd Thursday of every month. And they're from 9 to 10:30. Sometimes they go to 11 or 12. So as far as our activities, this year, I'm sorry, we had 12 board meetings. All the agenda, meeting minutes, everything is tracked. And they are, at least the agendas are available online. This year we had 89 motions. Last year we had 100, so we're kind of driving that number down. Obviously, we're getting a little more streamlined in our approach. But 25 were substantive. In other words, we were voting on something that either impacted our budget or the things we do. The rest were procedural, just things like adjourning and starting up the meeting and things like that. Some of our highlights for this year was our advertising campaign. We had billboard and radio. I believe Jordan will talk about that a little bit. Of course, our elections. We did have a bylaw revision this March. We had 6 rain barrel grant applications this year. We sponsored both the C4 conference and the compost conference. And we scheduled all of our meetings, both membership and board meetings for 2024. And we launched a new social media platform. More to come on that. So membership, right now we're at 21 members and 11 affiliates and lots of friends. We're growing. Although small, we are growing. So last year we had 18 members and 9 affiliates. Now that affiliate is kind of odd. It's, we lost a few affiliates, but we gained some new affiliates. But overall, we had an increase. And here's my shallow reminder, please, if you can, we try to invoice out as early as possible. And please try to pay your invoice as early as possible so we can establish the budget for the year. We really don't know what we can work with until it comes in. All right. So just a little bit about our due structure. Of course, phase 1, we have it tiered. Phase 1's a flat fee of $2,200. And then phase 2's Cat 1 through 3 are tiered, with the Cat 1 being $600, Cat 2 being $1,200, and Cat 3 being $1,800. And currently, our affiliates are requested to provide an annual donation of $100. Here's our current membership. I think this is completely up to date as of last week, right? As of yesterday, okay. This may not be up to date. I think we have, oh, thank you. Okay, I'm with you. Yeah. So this is, I don't think one of them's mentioned in here, but anyway. Okay. Anyway, we had a couple of new affiliates that I can see on here. One was Guernsey. It's our first engineering firm. And then, I don't know who Derek and Jenna Johnson are.
South Central chapter of the IEC.
Oh, yeah.
It's our latest one, second to last.
Yeah, and they've just paid yesterday.
Yesterday.
Yeah. So that's fantastic. I think we've got a really good partner with IECA. A little bit about the budget. You know, our budget has always been, our goal has always been 27,600. This year, our total collections were 23,650. And we had a donation earmarked just for advertising of $1,500. We also had a carryover from last year of $3,435. Now, this year we did not take that carryover and work it into the overall budget. We actually made a rainy day fund. And we thought that it would be appropriate to do so in the case that something exceptional came up and we had an opportunity that benefits the membership. So all that said, last year we were about 5,000 short of making our budget goal. This year we're $2,450 short. So that's getting smaller. I feel like if we keep going, we're going to meet our budget goal. And all that does is helps us to complete our mission. So our current budget as of 12/7 was $26,341.90. Now, just to explain a little bit about how the budget is, that top figure, that $23,650, that $1,800, that's where I need a pointer, is $1,800, and the training are dedicated funds. We don't work that into the budget. These are just funds we take off the top off of this. So whatever that minus $1,800 and $2,500 gets proportioned by these percentages, and this would be our final budget here. So right now, our budget is sitting at $25,150. I will say there was overall, there's an increase. Of course, we took in more money, so there's naturally an increase, but we did have to put more money into the Home and Garden Show because we're going to sign up for the early bird for next year, and they've increased their prices again. So, okay, so our major payouts, obviously the 2024 Home and Garden Show, we bought 1,200 reusable COSWA bags. We did purchase a composter for the COSWA Compost Conference, PO Box, our advertising campaign, and our year-end meeting and party. Yeah. Yeah. So if you recall, and you'll go over this, so I don't want to steal any thunder, but we gave almost 1,000 bags out last year. Something insane. So our planned expenses, we're gonna spend another 16 grand plus change on our 2024 advertising campaign. We have 25 dedicated to membership training. Don't know where that's going to go yet. We have $348 already committed to purchase 5 rain barrels. 5 rain barrels. I'm just going with 5. And then, like I mentioned, we have $1,768 for our early bird home and garden show. And then, of course, we want to talk about promotional items eventually. What COSWA swag can we get for various tabling events? Okay, switching gears, a little bit about the Rain Barrel Grant Program. I felt like it was successful this year. We had time to develop a web page for it, so all the information is available on the COSWA website. This program is available to anybody in your community, including you as the communities. So membership, affiliates, non-members, anybody. And I'll show you some examples of who applied for it and received it this year. It's a super easy program to meet some MS4 MCMs. And it's a no-brainer on the paperwork. Easy. Michelle Chow could tell you, is it easy? Pretty easy. All we ask is that you submit your paperwork timely so the board can consider it and ask additional questions if needed. So like I said, we had 6 applications. The OPMA Stormwater Technical Conference, Gatewood Homeowners Association, and that's in Oklahoma City HOA, used one for their garden tour. ODOT C4 Conference, DEQ Green Team got one. And Norman was successful in applying twice. Got one for the Lake Thunderbird workshop and cleanup and the rain chain workshop, right? So we're super excited about this. We're trying our best, even though we're going to buy 5 or 6. We'll figure out the true number here. We're going to ask for a donation from Upcycle to max out at 10. So we're hoping that we have 10 barrels available to you guys next, 2024. The program had, right now, these are provisional, but we had over 745 provisional contacts from the program. So that's excellent. It does say 6 rain barrels. So I'm going to go with what's written down. All right. So here's a save the date. These are our next membership meetings. We do reserve the right to throw in some meetings when we need to. But as far as right now, we've got one planned for March, June, September. And again, we hope to have another big party in December. So what we're considering, obviously, we're looking for partnerships that'll benefit our membership. And it could be partnerships with a state agency. It could be partnerships with OFMA. We're really trying to drive those partnerships because together we can do a lot more. We're looking for creative opportunities to enhance private donations. The more money we get, the more we can do on boots on the ground. Obviously, I've mentioned that we're looking to expand our social media right now. Instagram is being targeted by that committee, but we've got something good to tell you here shortly. And I feel like the roundtable discussion went pretty well. I'm hoping that it was interesting for everybody, having representation from all the different MS4s. We want to continue with that. I think there's a lot of good subjects we can learn from. The other thing is really materials development, and we're really looking into exploring contracted services. We can't do it as a board all ourselves. So we may have to take some funds and essentially hire somebody to do some of the work that we need to get done. Okay, so that brings us into strategic business. I have not practiced these slides, so please go easy on me. If you guys recall that, we met back in July. The board has had several meetings, and you might have seen a recent survey that came out. And Rebecca, do we have some hard copies of the survey here? Sorry, I'll just, sorry.
Yes.
Okay, good. We're really needing some feedback from everybody. And it just doesn't have to be one for MS. I'll let you talk. I'm just on my soapbox. Okay. Anyway, back in that meeting in July, we had 15 participants. One state agency was represented, one university, and 7 member entities. And we asked 5 questions, and they were really around needs and growth, and growth in what way, and then dues, and then enhancing committee participation. So just kind of high level, what we came up with is we got a lot of feedback on our brochure, and we need to highlight the key MCMs that were really helping to drive success on. So you as MS4s can take it to the people that you're trying to say, here, I need budget for this. Here's the MCMs that this helps us to work through. And then develop guidance documents such as SOPs and other beneficial documents. We heard this on a number of things, not just needs, but really seek partners to implement a coordinated workshop. And we don't know what that'll look like. It could be something that we seek partnership with OFMA or some existing, or we could do something ourselves. But we really have a target on down the road of 2025. And then an MS4 101 training. As far as vision, we've heard this. Wayne mentioned it a little bit earlier, which is really lobby EPA Region 6 to bring back the MS4 conference. And that is in progress. We are already developing that language. We just don't have it completed. But when we have it completed from our side, we're going to send it out to the MS4s. And the idea here is to bombard them with emails, handwritten letters, whatever you guys want to do, but really get the point across that we cared about this conference. We've also made the COSWA newsletters, and that's what Rebecca emails out. You're on a pretty high frequency now, but we're putting those online. That is already done, right, Jordan? Okay. And then we're also surveying prior to our advertising campaign to get feedback on what subjects you guys feel are relevant and important to advertise to the public through our public service announcements. And then I love this idea is COSWA representation at Water Appreciation Day. So that'll be something that I think COSWA can handle. As far as growth, again, build the relationships and or establish a local conference or take advantage of existing local conferences. We're really trying to increase our virtual membership meeting opportunities. So this is online now. We want folks who can't necessarily travel to be involved still. The big one for me is examine the budget allocations for advertising and seek your guidance for reproportioning these budgets. In other words, our current budget for advertising is 75.6% of our budget. If we move that down to 50%, and if we move that down to 50%, where do you need it? So these are questions that have to be answered. And then we're really looking to enhance our membership-led trainings, where you as professionals, and there's a ton of great professionals in this room, can teach us. We can use our own people to train others. And then we'll continue to enhance announcements to the membership. I think the email is doing a great job there. And we already mentioned increasing the roundtable opportunities. Lastly, maybe, nope, not last, almost last, is budget. So we're really looking at if we're going to meet goals long-term and we're going to have all these future programs, we're going to have to look at increasing our membership dues. And this came out, it was very, very obvious in the strategic business meeting that that's what the membership's calling for. But I mean, we really need to slow play this thing, and we have to get it out to the MS4s that we're going to do it and give them time to, talk to their management. I don't know what that would be, but we also looked at creating sponsorship levels for our affiliates and calling it mist shower cloudburst. I like cloudburst. But anyway, putting a tiered structure in there. So if somebody wanted to give more, they could. Right now, it's $100. But anyway, with that sponsorship level, we really need to think as an organization, well, what are our affiliates getting out of this? Are they getting FaceTime with you? Because obviously they need to have some sort of something out of this other than giving from, you would hope that they give from their heart, but and that might include maybe a Facebook profile, or they're already listed on the website. And we even talked about we're creating a document that's for different services that are rendered, whether it's erosion sediment control services or even engineering services around the stormwater world, listing those out on one document and branding with COSWA, so any MS4 can use it without the MS4 necessarily promoting. COSWA's promoting. And then we've also talked about having our affiliates sponsored on maybe our digital billboards, or brought to you by on radio. Lastly, committee participation. This is a tough one. When I looked at this slide, it says do. Well, it's really not do. It's do nothing. Is it broken now, or do we continue to kind of build that committee infrastructure? And I think that's a viable option. The other thing is require volunteer hours for our membership to include committee participation. We know that we need to develop a presentation regarding the scope and expectations of committee. So I think that's something we're certainly going to work on. And then, of course, to draft a committee responsibility list. So that's all I had. And going from that, we've kind of gone over a high level of the results of the strategic business meeting. Rebecca's going to cover the survey.
So now you guys need to be on the honor system. If you've already filled out a survey, then you don't need to fill out the one that Miss Holly is fixing to throw around. So we've got a member version and an affiliate version. So like DEQ, anybody here from DEQ, they're all affiliates. So you can all fill that out. I will say we emailed the member version of the survey to 69 people. Guess how many people filled it out? 9. I was one of them.
I was one of them.
So, and on the affiliates, how many, I sent it to 28 people. How many people filled that out, do you think? 0. Yes.
We did.
It- We were trying to get it done before this meeting, so I do have the 9 results included. But it's okay. You can fill it out today. And the online survey is still open, so if you'd rather fill it out online, that's fine too. We will leave that open for another week or so, but we will need to wrap that up so we can kind of keep moving forward with everything. If anyone needs any more time, just because you're busy, just let me know. I'm more than happy to make any accommodations that are necessary. I just texted or messaged our online folks to see if they have any questions, and I don't see any at this time. But online folks, of course, if you have any questions, feel free to type those into chat at any time. I'm not sure we can hear you if you talk. Scott was talking earlier to me and I could not hear him at all. So I think you guys can hear us. So hopefully that's at least that side of it's working. But yeah, if you online folks have any questions, let us know. Okay, so the survey. There was 10 questions from members, and of the 9 results that we got, some of the answers for the first question, which is kind of asking for what sort of stormwater materials you would like to see us produce or procure, what topics of that. We got some of the answers. I'll just read a few. Standard operating procedures such as dry weather screening, bacteria monitoring, and construction site inspections. New videos for employee training. Materials and activities that could be provided at school presentations, such as how to pack a waste-free lunch, or about different types of pollution and where it comes from, or how to clean it up and prevent it. resources for materials such as buttons and stickers and brochures that are approved by EPA or DEQ for distribution. Let's see. A document regarding good housekeeping inspections for city operations. So those are just some of the ideas that people have already provided for that question 1 on training materials. And then the second question is what type of stormwater related training events you would like to see COSWA create or host. So some of the answers that were provided by the people online that already filled it out were housekeeping training, again, webinar on how to conduct employee training, safety during inspections, water sampling and proper testing, an MS4 conference in coordination with OFMA, GCSA, and other regional non-governmental organizations, alliances, and states, and hands-on installation workshops on best vendor practices for all minimum control measures, and some other things. Plenty of ideas. So keep those ideas coming. We may not be able to use all of them because you guys are fantastic with giving us all these ideas, but we will do what we can and we appreciate the thoughts. So if we can't do it today, we might be able to do it in the future. So question 3 is, would your MS4 or entity be interested in participating in media training, which is kind of like how to do videos on or any interviews on camera if we were to host that type of training? The options are yes, and we can help with the cost, and yes, but we cannot help with the cost of the training, and then not interested in participating. So 6 of the 9 said they weren't interested in participating. I know Oklahoma City, we've been through some media training and it's really interesting. So if you haven't done that before and you think maybe you might get an incident, I mean, you never know when an incident's going to happen in your community, and you might have a news camera in your face. It might be good to know what's expected beforehand. So you might consider that. Question 4 is, if you were able to attend COSWA's roundtable discussion on construction site enforcement, do you want to see more events of this type of format? And 7 people said yes on that. So we'll probably pursue those type of events. Question 5 talks about the 2023 ad campaign, and it took approximately 75% of the total budget. What percentage of the budget should be allocated for the 2024 ad campaign? The options were more spent on the ad campaign, keep it about the same, or less of the budget should be spent on the ad campaign. And the majority of the people responding online, those 9 said keep it about the same. So we had 5 people said that. And then if we do spend less on the ad campaign, where would you like to see the additional resources allocated? And so that was kind of a split response between, looks like workshop was the biggest request. Then we also have guidance documents and live training events and other with responses submitted online for the other. Question 7 is the 2023 ad campaign subjects. So for our 2024 ad campaign, pick your top 3 choices. So please, if you're filling those out, make sure that you're only selecting 3 options. And you can see all those there. I think it looks like sediment was the highest on our online, followed by only rain down the storm drain. So good. Would you like to see a COSWA table or booth at a local event to include weekends? Overwhelmingly, yes. If you answered yes, are you willing and available to work that event? And again, most of those people that said yes the first time said yes the second time. I think some of the people changed a little bit, but they were all anonymous. I don't know who. It's just you can tell, you can line up who answered what on the same line. COSWA currently has 3 active committees. Which one would you like to serve on? We'd love to have you guys help us with those. They're not a huge time commitment, but we would love to see more people involved in that, because that's really kind of the meat and potatoes of what we're wanting to offer through our mission statement. The affiliate questions were real similar. Let me check the chat real quick. Online. Nope, no questions yet. Okay, so the affiliate questions, again, what kind of training materials would your organization like to see us produce? Question 2 is what kind of events you would like to see COSWA coordinate or host? Question 3, what stormwater related training or presentation would your organization be able to provide as subject matter experts or professionals? And we did have, of course, Wayne Craney volunteered a presentation, and there was another one. I can't think of, somebody else mentioned that. That was because I'd also sent out an affiliate email that week asking for presentations. So we've got a couple of those coming up. And then in what ways would your organization like to see COSWA utilize affiliates? And the COSWA board is considering providing optional tiered affiliate memberships. So we will further discuss the dues aspect for affiliates. And then the last question for affiliates was talking about what sorts of benefits the affiliates would like to see. So hopefully you guys can fill those out. Like I said, we'll have those surveys available online still for another couple weeks, I would say, probably through the end of the year. And then we'll get those closed out. Our next little bit of business is going to be the treasurer's reports. And since I was absent for most of the last meeting due to another commitment, we had a lot of voting to do. So if anybody still needs a copy of the treasurer's reports, they're sitting on the table over there. Yes, Wayne. Oh, of course. I don't know. That's a great question.
I don't think we're not. I think we can do it. The problem is. Oh, I'm not, are you talking about doing it lobbying for anything? I agree, but it would be more of public presence. And we can wider appreciation, yeah, take it back, that's what it's, yeah. That's where we need to be. It's stormwater as a one of the priorities that we're not going to install water and wastewater systems as the main goal of the other. You can bring it from the children's state to the main base where stormwater is recognized. Qualified need water into the government. Yeah, well, I don't think there's anything holding us back to that or having to do that without the you know, some of the other higher plea files. You know, the only thing that would limit us is how much we want to spend. If the food is $2,000, that's out of the week. A lot of money.
All right, so for our online group, Wayne Craney was asking about COSWA presence at government, like the state capitol for certain like Water Appreciation Day and stuff like that. And so the discussion internally was regarding our capabilities, and it kind of just depends on any costs that might be involved. So, and then if COSWA were to be represented by a group of MS4s, there might be some restrictions on an MS4 being able to represent or representing their MS4. So we need to just work out the details of how we're representing COSWA and not also representing our municipality unless that's the intention. So anyway, so back to, thank you, Wayne, for that thoughtful input. Treasurer's report. So for May, did you guys go over these in the September? No. Okay. So we start out with, okay, I'm not going to read all this because I'm going to go hoarse. So we only had one debit to Amazon for one of the books that we'd ordered to help us learn more about nonprofits. So we ended with $15,835.31. I'd like to make a motion for us to approve the May Treasurer's Report from 2023. Can I get a second? I couldn't hear. Who was that? Okay, Jason Murphy with Norman. And anybody approve? Raise your hands, as long as we get a majority. Okay, thank you. That'll be approved. And then for the June, we didn't have any expenditures, so we stayed with the $15,835.31. I'd like to make a motion to approve that. Can I get a second on that? Jason again? Okay, thank you. Jason Murphy again. And if anyone would like to approve that, please raise your hand. All right, thank you. Looks like majority on that as well. July. So we ended up with, started getting some dues in, and we had our annual PO box rental fee go out. So, we received 5,300 and then the $176 debit. So our ending balance was $20,959.31. I'd like to make a motion to approve the July 2023 treasurer's report. Can I get a second on that? Jason Murphy again. You're making it very easy. All right. And if everyone would raise their hands to approve, if you would like to approve that. All right. Looks like a majority again. And the August 2023 treasurer's report, we got more dues in. We started paying for some of our radio ad campaigns. We got a couple of awards that we actually gave out today, and we did purchase that tumbling composter. So, the credits, the dues that we received were $13,350, and the debits were $729.12, leaving us with an ending balance of $33,580.19. And I would like to make a motion to approve that. Can I get a second, please? Ah, Jason. Thank you. Jason Murphy seconds that. And if anyone would like to approve that, please raise your hands. Need to get a majority. Need like 3 more people to raise their hands. Okay, thank you. All right, so that's approved by majority, and 2 more. September 2023 treasurer's report. So again, we received more dues to the amount of $4,000. We had a little bit more of our radio ad invoices come in, and we got another table cover with our COSWA logo, so we can have our multi events because we had 2 events in one day in October. So our ending balance there is $31,469.69. I'd like to make a motion to approve the September report. All right, Jason Murphy, thank you so much. And then if everyone would raise their hands to approve, if you would like to approve it. All right, thank you. Looks like we have a majority there as well. And I feel like an auctioneer. October. Okay, don't go down that rabbit hole. October 2023, our treasurer's report, we did receive some more dues, and we had a couple of debits. We got some acrylic displays for our tabletop and our lovely bag order that came in. So we ended up with $31,257.29 as the final balance at the end of October. I'd like to make a motion to approve that. And can I get a second? Oh, going crazy. I think she was a little faster, so we'll do with Katrina Boatler seconding that. All right, and then if everyone would raise your hands if you'd like to approve this. All right, I think that's good enough. Another majority there. Thank you so much. So, names. Derek has already gone over. Sorry, Jason. I now I've got your name in my brain. Derek has already gone over our budget. So do keep in mind that for the next fiscal year, whenever you're starting your budget planning, do keep us in mind and get those kind of pre-approvals and the plan in place for that. And I think what's next is our guest speaker. Cheryl Cheadle is the volunteer coordinator for the Blue Thumb Water Quality Education Program. Blue Thumb is part of the Oklahoma Conservation Commission. Cheryl has spent over 30 years working in water quality education. She has a Bachelor of Science degree from Oklahoma State University in wildlife conservation. One of Cheryl's favorite things is working with adults and children in outdoor activities that guide them to become stewards of the earth. Welcome, Cheryl. All right, and Cheryl, do you have a PowerPoint?
I do.
Okay, let me why don't we take a 5-minute break while we get this loaded up, and we'll be back in just a few minutes.
Did you
Let me look on the schedule. Yeah, I think we get you, hang tight on that. We've got a security thing for that.
And I've got my computer in the car, if I should go get it.
She's gonna get an adapter.
Okay, can we get your PowerPoints? Thank you. Okay, I just need the screen to cooperate. So we'll be back just a couple minutes, guys.
I was getting big trays all. I'd say.
Okay, and which presentation will it be?
It's COSWA 20.
COSWA 23, that makes sense. Let me see if it'll let me copy it to the desktop. So, whoa, hello. Don't go too crazy, little mouse. There we go. Copy that so that way it can be just a little bit faster. Perfect. And then we can pull that out because I won't be able to keep your flash drive in and be able to share the screen. Okay, that worked perfectly. And here is this back. This in my pocket. And then we'll pull that presentation up and start sharing it. There we go. Do you have anything with sounds on any of your slides? Why is it doing that? Oh, because I didn't plug this in.
You guys always meet here?
No, we do change it up from place to place. Let me reshare because I didn't have.
It's a good turnout for your meeting.
Yeah, it's a great turnout. I think.
I didn't expect you.
Long time no see.
Hey, good to see you, Jason. I've been all right. Just trying to find new inroads to save it from climate change and biodiversity. So, I've been pretty impressed, but no, anyway. Yeah, happy to be here. Happy to be here. You still here?
Yeah, I mean, I've been involved in projects.
Yeah.
I show up when I can.
I'm good. I'm gonna still here.
You, it's a regular. Because we're on our own.
Yeah, that makes sense. I feel like COSWA and Green County Stormwater Alliance are different beasts.
Communicate.
I'm sure we communicate.
And they're morphing into a little bit different kind of
Are they?
right now, because, because Richard and Brennan.
Yeah, they're, yeah.
So we don't have a clicker as far as being able to advance the slides. You will just
Okay.
need to use the mouse, which is this little touch pad. Just slide it around and then just tap it to go forward. A little bit more force there. But yeah, just press there. And then, but this middle button is a laser pointer if you do need to point at anything.
Oh, okay.
So we do. have
Okay.
that. So I think probably whenever you're ready, I think.
Just whenever they're, so I sit back down. And if you want to turn some of the lights out for a minute. Hey. Yeah, I'm gonna just the bright ones. It's in my mind. If you skip the car, you go. That could be okay. Okay. Because I don't know. All right. We have no minutes.
All right, Cheryl, go ahead and get started whenever you're ready. And the microphone is on that computer for the online audience.
Oh, we have an online audience?
Yes. That's gonna be cool.
Okay, so I need to stand kind of right in here then, okay?
Yes, that'd be great.
All right, all right. Well, good afternoon. I'm so happy to be here with COSWA today. I am Cheryl Cheadle. I work for the Blue Thumb Water Quality Education Program. And I brought with me a coworker, Bryant Wynn. And he's new with Blue Thumb. We're happy to have him. And I always appreciate getting invitations so that I can talk about things. Now, Derek, I hope I remember this right. You said you wanted something fun.
Yes.
Okay. Now, I try to be fun, but sometimes working in the environmental field in Oklahoma isn't as fun. But please, I think we're a small enough group. If you have something to say as we go, or you happen to have a question, let's just do that. So the presentation that I have for us today, and I am slightly tied to this location to forward my slides, which is okay. But so I'm going to be telling you about the Blue Thumb program, but not just Blue Thumb, about the most recent year in the life of Blue Thumb. Okay, what did I do? I was told to tap the, no, man, I thought I'm doing what I'm told. All right, I tapped that, right? Oh, okay. Well, okay, so you guys probably know Blue Thumb is about volunteers. The Blue Thumb staff supports volunteers across the state of Oklahoma who monitor stream sites. And that is the biggest part of our job, is helping these volunteers to get out there, to be well trained, and to do a good job. This was our biggest training of the year, and this was in Tulsa in August. Oh, that was better. And I'm sure you're aware that what our volunteers do is they monitor streams, and where they, on their own and with their teams, they're looking at water chemistry. They've been through a full 2-day training. They're looking at water chemistry. And then with Blue Thumb staff working with them, the volunteers are doing fish collections, benthic macroinvertebrate collections, and assessing habitat. So the data that we collect is data on the physical features of the stream, the chemistry of the stream at a given moment in time, and the life of the stream. That's what our Blue Thumb is about. We are celebrating a 30th anniversary in 2023. We're very excited about it. And so when Derek asked if I could do something that was kind of fun and talk to you about Blue Thumb, I just thought, I'm going to make this fun. And these are what I view as the big things of 2023, with that being our 30th anniversary year. So we had 3 webinars on understanding data. Data can be very tricky. What does the data mean? And if you're a person who has never had any training in this, or you don't get, it breaks my heart. Sometimes volunteers will be down there doing their monthly monitoring, and somebody will say, and they tell me this, they'll ask me, well, how's the stream look based on those monthly monitoring tests? They go, I don't know, I guess okay. And I get that but I got a pH of 7. Well, 7 out of 9,000, so we have to help the public. We have to help the volunteers understand that. And I'm excited that we had 3 webinars to help make that happen. And they're online. If anyone's interested, bluethumbok.com. So we did that for our volunteers. I enjoyed them. We had a mixed attendance. It's a webinar. It was mixed. Some of them we had 2 or 3. One of them we had 15. we had a cool event. I wasn't there. I wasn't at everything. But we had this really cool event in Oklahoma City. It was an introduction to stream fish and benthic mackerel invertebrates, or what we call the bugs. And what was so funny about this event was Blue Thumb staff was there. The volunteers of that particular stream were there. This was advertised to volunteers, but the people who showed up were just like newcomers who had no idea what Blue Thumb was. But that's a statement. That's a kind of a statement that the general public kind of would like to know more about these things. And I think you as stormwater people, this might be something we put a little bug in your ear about that. Have some kind of an event that brings people to the stream. Maybe Blue Thumb could help you. Maybe you've got a volunteer monitoring in your community and you guys could approach Blue Thumb in a unified effort. Say, can we do this? It'll be okay. I'm going to get used to it. Here we go. And of course, we had a Blue Thumb staff member, Becky, that some of you knew. She took off in February, right before the busy season. And anyway, no, it's okay. We don't mind. And we, so there's 4 of us left, and we're so thrilled to have Bryant apply for the position, interview for the position, be offered the position, and then say yes, because we were so excited to get Bryant. He's and it just happens to be a bonus that Bryant is from the Edmond area, lives in Oklahoma City, and a lot of his work will be in this central part of the state. So it's very nice. And yes, welcome, Bryant. And once again, for the volunteers, in our 30th year, we had some awesome regional field trips. I know it looks like they were all in cold weather, but we had fly fishing in Northeast Oklahoma. We had a hike at the Wichita Mountains. We had a frigid day collecting those little crystals in the Salt Plains National Wildlife Refuge, and doing these things to show our volunteers that we care about you. And let me give you a reminder, the streams that our volunteers are out monitoring, there's typically no other data being collected. I know in some of the cities that use stormwater, people are collecting some data, but you got to realize there's a ton of streams that if we didn't have volunteers out there taking a look at those, then we would have no idea about it. So we know that the volunteers need plenty of love. And this was just a volunteer get together in Oklahoma County in June. Sometimes Oklahoma County is particularly good at saying to the Metro volunteers, come on out, we want to show you we appreciate you. And that was the case. And this was one of Bryant's first big events with us. And there's some people in there you may know, others you may not. But it was fun. We were happy to be there. Blue Thumb has been involved in professional development for teachers, which I think is very exciting. I think there is a place for stormwater people to not only go out and visit the students in the schools, because I know lots of you do that, but what about being also involved in professional development so that you're helping to empower teachers who have hundreds of pupils in many cases. But this particular one I absolutely loved because I second to being in the stream, I love helping people understand what I call everyday ecology. And so we got the people out there and we showed them the different infiltration rates of parking lots, of a prairie, of a riparian zone, of a mowed lawn, and helped them to see how rainfall acts. Because folks, we use the phrase runoff a lot. But runoff, in a sense, is a bit of a fail because what should happen to rainwater is infiltration to aquifers and moving towards streams and rivers or getting sucked up by plants. When we have a lot of runoff, that's because we've done something to stop that. And it's either we've gotten rid of some of the plants or we have put in so much impervious surface. So just keep in mind, how we treat the earth means we can get better infiltration. And at our Oklahoma Association of Conservation District meetings, our Blue Thumb Director, Rebecca, gave a great presentation to the conservation districts. And I don't know how familiar you are with those. There's about 77 of them throughout the state. Anywhere you live in Oklahoma, you are within a conservation district, and they are such at a local level. And so we're helping those conservation districts to see how they can successfully speak to the constituents of their district. Man, we all need more of that. It is so hard. You know, you think you're going to get an audience and you just never know. You invite people out and you think you're going to get 35, you get 2, or you just set something up kind of quick and off the cuff and 40 people show up. It's very tricky. And then we have the Blue Thumb calendar. And if you guys would like a 2024 Blue Thumb calendar, we did bring some. So we'll be able to give those to you. Bryant is modeling the new one for this year. We remained active with the Crow Creek watershed in the heart of Tulsa. And I'm just going to give you some news hot off the press. At our last meeting, I said to our Crow Creek community, Crow Creek is a small stream that flows in the middle of Tulsa, and it doesn't have a good fish population, and it doesn't have good benthic macroinvertebrates. And we've been working in a special project for Crow Creek for about 10 years now. They're not better. And can the fish get better? We have fish barriers. So I said to these folks, I said, I think it's time for somebody else to take the lead. Well, and so I go, you know, maybe one of the rest of you can take the leadership role in this, because I've been doing it and the creek's not getting better. And so they kind of turned that around and said, what if we don't focus on just Crow Creek, but if we focus on all Tulsa creeks and you stay in the lead? And I was bamboozled into that. That was exciting. I thought, well, I hadn't seen you guys this perked up about something in a long time, but I think they're right. And my complaint, and I say this because I think these are going to be things you'll be thinking about too. In this watershed in the heart of Tulsa, it's a rich watershed and there's thousands of people. I bet you 10% of the residents don't know we have a special project for Crow Creek. And I don't know what else to do about it. So, but we're thinking about changing up the way that group works, just totally turning it upside down. Because one of the things that we're struggling with, City of Tulsa thinks, well, why would we single out Crow Creek? Now, the people who work with City of Tulsa and who are in the group that we work with, they're all for helping Crow Creek. But the rest of the City of Tulsa is saying, why would we single out one creek? And now I'm just seeing us banding together and saying, let's do this in the city's newsletter that goes out with the water bills, instead of doing that. And they're saying, well, I don't know if we can do that, but it's for all streams. How can you not do it? I think I'm building an argument. So anyway, we'll see. We'll see where this goes. Hey, Blue Thumb was involved in a program on how to teach climate change in Oklahoma. My goodness, we're making progress. And it was full. Lots of people were there. Our Project WET, Project Learning Tree, the Mesonet, Oklahoma Southern Climate Center Hub, OU, they were sponsors of it. We had a good turnout. And people, we have got to be able to say those words. We have got to be able to make a difference with people. Climate change is real. It's an issue. And let's learn how best to put it out there for the public. And there's ways to do it. And I was excited by this. I was happy to be. And I was just attending that training. Didn't have any expertise to lend, but I took something home from it. Blue Thumb is still very involved in our fish collections, and that's where we get out in the creek with our volunteers and other people who just want to learn something about the local fish. The average person in your community isn't going to know what fish to expect in your streams. Now, this one photo is from Martin Park Nature Center area where Spring Creek flows through it. What a fish collection we got. Even though a lot of that stream is urban, we got like 21 species. That's a good fish collection for an urban stream. Crow Creek, we got 3 last time. Ow. But anyway, getting people out in the creek with us, looking at the fish, learning about them, looking at the benthic macroinvertebrates, talking about eroding banks, talking about shade on the water. That's a good experience, and we have to help people spend time outdoors. Our volunteers on their own, I can tell you all about the things Blue Thumb staff does, but the volunteers on their own don't wait around on Blue Thumb staff. Cheyenne from RSU in Claremore asked Blue Thumb, can you help us with this Girl Scout thing on certain day? And we all loved the idea, but we had something else going on. So we took her a bunch of Blue Thumb stuff, and she and there were some other leaders, 35 Girl Scouts, and they taught them about bugs. They taught them about fish. They measured water clarity. It was a great day. And these are some of your counterparts, but from INCOG over there on the other side, they're borrowing an Enviroscape. They're borrowing my little incredible journey about the water cycle. Going out, sending me back photos of these are the kids we work with today. That's what you want. Bryant and I can do so much, but you add in a Jade, a Michelle, a Cheyenne, add in a Jim Matthewson, add in all of these different people, different places who says, yes, I'll do this. And then they end up talking to 30, 40 people. That's how you help change a culture. That's how you help awaken people and getting them on board. Because, COSWA with stormwater, man, that needing clean water and helping people make the connection between, well, this creek doesn't look so good. Well, this creek's going to flow into Little River, and then Little River's going to flow into, I don't know where it flows, but like say Lake Eufaula, and so gets their drinking water. We have to help make those connections for people because they don't always know it. This is my transition slide to talking about data projects now. We are changing up a little bit about how Blue Thumb works by, instead of having volunteers after they get so many months or years of data, they write a data report that we put on our website, and hardly anyone's looking at those. Has any of you in this room ever gone to the Blue Thumb website and read a data report? Go on you. I'm just kidding. All right, well, a couple of you have. But how about we take a volunteer from Cleveland County who's willing to give a presentation at a COSWA meeting about what they feel their data says and about their stream. We decided that might be better. You are a bit of a unique crowd, but two of you have, and man, I appreciate it. Maybe somebody else raise their hand. So here's a little bit about what our data projects are doing. This happens to be the volunteers who work on Okmulgee Creek in Okmulgee County. And Okmulgee Creek has a lot of issues from the past especially, but these three monitor the stream. They're putting together an exhibit. They have already started doing basic stream education and giving lots of presentations, but now they have an exhibit up at the Okmulgee Public Library. They have a plan on their calendar to talk to the Muskogee Nation about it. We've been in touch with Okmulgee's Public Works Director. A data project means we're going to get information together, and then we're going to make a big effort within the public, in our watershed, to make sure people know about this. And if you'll take a look, there's a report there that was done by the volunteers. Yes, I edited it and added a few things, but that's what we are excited about, is our volunteers making this kind of a very large effort. And here is one of our projects that is going to be Horse Creek in Delaware County, but it's not really Horse Creek. This one is kind of the most kind of twisted up one, because it's really education for both Horse Creek and Grand Lake. This is Ed Trumbull, a teacher up there, and also the mayor of Grove. So we got a city hook in, and we, with a little bit of funding from Friends of Blue Thumb, put together for Ed a really cool little display that explains a little bit about Blue Thumb monitoring the data and why protecting Grand Lake is so critical for citizens of Grove. And that's some of Ed's students looking at it. But we're talking about the watershed. We're working also with Harbor Village, a local outdoor museum there, to be more involved in environmental education for the area. And Ed, with his city connection, is doing a remarkable job of helping get information out. And this is us. We took Ed and some of his alternative education high school students out to Horse Creek to introduce them to the stream so that they can learn about stream ecology. It's the best way one can learn about it out there at the stream. So we're excited about that. And this is my stream. My stream is one of the ones this year too that we're doing ecology on. So this is Coal Creek between Glenpool and Jinx. And this is a day out on the creek. We invited people from the community. They said, yeah, we want to do this. We also had set up the day before at the farmer's market, and we had creatures from the creek and our report. We have an exhibit at the public library. We have given our creek report to the city council and to lots of people who stopped by. And we've let them know about what is water quality monthly monitoring. We're letting them know about that. And if you guys haven't seen the way we're doing reports now, and we have Bryant to thank for a lot of these, but we're actually using a template so that we can show tolerant, intermediate, tolerant categories, because I can have 12 different kinds of fish, but if they're all tolerant to pollutants and habitat changes, I may not have a stream that's at its best. And when we can show this to people and they can see intolerant, intermediate, tolerant, when they can see that, we're helping them to become scientists. And they're taking a look at this and gaining an understanding of what it means to understand the fish of the stream. And something that was very exciting to me, and I'm still really happy about it, and this was just a couple of weeks ago. I've been meeting and talking to Glenpool. That's my community I live in. Glenpool and their stormwater manager. Some of you may know him, Carl Prescott. Okay, you did. All right, so I've been meeting with Carl. I've been talking to Carl. Carl and I go back a few years at this point. And I met with him on November 7th, and he said, you know, he goes, I bet a lot of the city employees would kind of like what you have to say. Well, that was my big clue. I said, well, let's just tell him then, Carl. And Carl, he bit, and he says, okay. And I sent him some dates. And so what we did, if you take a look here, we set this up within like a week or two's time, because I said, yes, the city's interested. We have got to jump upon this right now. We had the Enviroscape. We had the tabletop rainfall simulator, and then I had a fairly short PowerPoint presentation. So we were able to talk to, and don't get me wrong, this isn't just stormwater people. Carl is the stormwater person for Glenpool. So we had Carl, we had a fire chief, fire marshal, a couple of other miscellaneous people, and then we had the public works director, and we had the people who do the mowing for the city of Glenpool. That's really the only people I said, please have these people there. Because the people who do the mowing, I could present information to you on that today, but that's not a part of this. So we had about a 2-hour training situation. I would love to do that for COSWA, but here's more than doing it for COSWA. COSWA, you guys probably don't need this. But if you said, well, I want to invite you into my community, we set this up. If we could get some city council there, which I know we can't, but if we could get city council, if you could get a public works director, if you could get the people who don't have a heart for stormwater, we could maybe help them to have that. When I work with stormwater people, they are usually the people who work for the city who want good things to happen for streams and rivers. The whole rest of the group may not, and they may just not even know. But anyway, we talked about runoff, we talked about infiltration. And if you'll notice the slide of me at the end, I've got a clear stream and I've got a stream heavily laden with sediment. That is an active issue in the watershed of Coal Creek that I am working on every time it rains and in between to try to get someone to do something about it. And it's outside of Glenpool city limits, so it's a struggle. But we're not going to give up on it. But when you're able to show local issues, it got their attention, especially when I was showing all these guys sitting on little tractors. They look like a tiny army coming up to the stream, and they're mowing as close as they can. They saw themselves. Well, that's you, Henry. No, look at you. You're over there with the weed eater. And they were teasing each other. I thought it was good. It made me so happy that they saw themselves. And And I truly think that they may maybe see a different possibility of how to do things. That was the goal. That was the goal, to help them see a different possibility. And I told them about why sediment's an issue. You know, you release all this eroding soil, it clouds the water column, and when it settles, it takes up habitat space for our little creatures. It puts a layer on the bottom of the stream. You're going to be more prone to get flooding. You're eventually going to have more erosion, and you're going to hurt stream banks. And I showed them the creatures that are in their stream. That's the red-fin darter, and we have the red-fin darter in Coal Creek. Well, we won't for long if we keep letting the new big-time development a few miles away pollute the stream with its sediment. So there was a very, very cool conference called the Crossroads Conference that was held in Enid this year, and I made sure it's not going to be held during the OFMA thing this year. It's going to be in later July. I don't think it'll interfere because a lot of people did OFMA that day that we had this. But Crossroads Conference is really put on by the Oklahoma Conservation Commission's soil health team. But they have an urban component each year. And I'm excited about this urban component for protecting streams and rivers. It is my belief, and you stormwater people, I hope you believe this too. I think the future of protecting streams, especially in Oklahoma, lies with our cities. It lies with our cities and with city managers and city councils who want to do good work. Yes, I know everything depends on the economy, but we can obey laws. We can pay attention to the Clean Water Act. We can keep in mind that we're in a biodiversity crisis, and we can do something good for our streams. And Crossroads Conference, we had a chance to say that. We were real tickled, and I hope we have a good turnout this year. Okay. Back, you know, I know that COSWA is a nonprofit organization. Back, I did it.
Yeah.
Back in the day, before I knew what in the world was going on, I got all these sweatshirts made that I sold to volunteer. And now I could get in really big trouble for that, so don't tell me. But that is a vintage sweatshirt. There are no more. But yeah, that was the message that we put on storm drains in the beginning. If you will notice this little picture right here, this was from this is from that little plate down there. And I wanted to put this in here because, yes, someone laid a donut in it. So that donut, yes, that is food. But the other two things in there I made out of salt and flour clay, and I made them to look kind of the size of food, but not really like food. That way I can take that plate when I'm trying to encourage people to plant native plants. I take my plate of non-food and I say, here, do you want to eat this? And people look at it and go, ew. Well, that's how they feel when you have a rose bush in your yard. They want butterfly milkweed. They want coneflower. They want something else. And so they don't recognize all of these beautiful ornamental flowers as food, but they recognize the little guys that have evolved. And I'm not going to say that every ornamental plant is bad, because a lot of them they do eat. But anyway, I use that, and it really does kind of freak people out. No, I don't want to eat that. I say, oh, come on. It would crack their teeth. So this is my belief, is that the Yard by Yard Community Resiliency Project, this is what can save us. This is what can save our butterflies, our bees. It can clean stormwater with the infiltration and with the lack of chemicals on the lawn. It's going to slow down water going off of a lawn and pull it in. It's going to quit polluting the air so much because we don't have to mow as often. And I don't really work in this project. And I don't know what will happen in the future, but I did get to help get this put together. I do give presentations about it. But in my opinion, this is what cities can go to make that difference. Now, homeowner associations, I'm not sure what to say, but that it is, to me, it is such an outdated notion that your grass has got to be 1 inch high and it's got to be a carpet of a monoculture. And you can't have a plant over 18 inches. I just think we have got to get beyond that. And we can do it with examples in our own yards and in our own communities. Look at Norman's libraries. I typically, in every presentation almost, I show a picture of Norman's libraries with those excellent signs about why they're doing what they do. And if COSWA, if you guys can pull together enough money, you could have educational signage too. And we've got to think beyond what is nice for me. Oh, it's aesthetically pleasing. I can see all the way up that hill in that short grass. If there were a saber-toothed cat approaching me, I would see it and run away. That cat's not coming for you. It's okay. So this is the project I'm really a believer in. We're getting some really good coverage for it. It is in Cleveland County. It is in Oklahoma County. That's probably where most of you are. It is in Canadian County. Let's take it and run with it. And shall we have a conversation about taking it and running with it? I'm okay. I'm all into that. So anyway. So working with children, Blue Thumb is going to always be an entity that works with a lot of children. Bryant and I have been doing some of this together down the Kiamichi River. And I think it's probably about, my time is probably about up. And also I'm about done. So this is good that it's happening together. Like I said, I'm going to talk about some of the really happy things. The Illinois River Watershed Partnership and Blue Thumb in the Illinois River Watershed. We go out and do some benthic macroinvertebrate surveys together. It is nothing but a wonderful day, I tell you. It's a wonderful day. And we would take you with us if you want to go. Blue Thumb won Keep Oklahoma Beautiful's Visionary, what is it? Visionary Future Award, Visionary Leadership Award at the 2023 Awards Banquet Special. We feel so pumped about it. We're very excited. You know, that feeds us because you know what? That kind of gives us some credibility. Do we need the credibility? Well, you know, I think we do. So we're not just a bunch of tree huggers. We really are trying to make a difference. You know what? We want to support you. You know, you invite us to do some stuff with you. You guys take the credit. Just do something good. Make new friends. Get out there and, you know, who are your partners? I will tell you one thing about these partners. They don't email you back on any regular basis and they don't answer cell phones. They have greater priorities. So other than that, it was fun to work with them. So this was a very good day out in the stream. If you notice in the one, I have some buffalo gourds, if you're familiar with those, the buffalo gourds and a walnut, and I'm seeing which one floats down the stream the fastest. I'm pretending to be the Lord of the stream over there. Have fun. I'm going to tell you something. Have fun. The condition of the environment is disheartening. But go out there and enjoy yourselves because it will keep you fresh and excited for when you work with the people who need to hear your message. Get those people outside with you and have fun. Yes, other people are out there doing work while I do this. I'm willing to upset them so I can play in the creek. Anyway, a big thing is help people make connections. That is the big thing we have to do. Help people see why the life in the stream is important, why the human species isn't the only one. And so Blue Thumb is going to be working to keep getting adults out there to support you and your stormwater message. And, you know, 2023 was also the year I started wearing my parakeet. Have I talked to you guys about that? My parakeet, I'll show you whenever we turn the lights. You can go ahead and turn the lights back on. I only have one more slide. So here's my final slide. Get children outside. Get people outside. Help people understand we have to love the earth. We have to have a relationship with the earth. But we're not going to see the value of protecting. We don't need to have a chance. But this is my little Carolina parakeet that I used to wear on my shoulder. And we used to have Carolina parakeets now. Have anybody heard of them? Carolina parakeets have been extinct for 100 years. And for the people who know me, when I say that, they back away and say, you're about to get Christmas. And I said, they've been extinct for 100 years. And I just want to leave them in. So you share it up today, see? And I don't know if I can do this. I would choose to. That's all it's about. That's all I'm here for today. No one has a more important job than you. No one has more important job. And keep in mind, you have an area. You can talk to people, you can make a difference. It's going to start with the two people you want. Start with the mayor and start with the county and start with the public works director. The job you have is much harder than it's going to be. Your peers are going to make you a place. Thank you so much for inviting me here today. You are special to me. Thank you. Hey, who can say we like the calendar? And that's what our number is for easy access. I thought it was interesting, go back on systems and ratings for them. It's really.
Oh, I'm not sharing. Am I sharing? I'm supposed to be sharing. Barely. Jordan. This will be the slides advancer. Just have to tap it. With your mouse on it. So I think you probably should go ahead because. Yeah. Okay, guys, we're gonna go ahead and keep going. I want to try to get through the last couple of items so we can get you guys out on time. Guys, so we're gonna keep going with our presentation. So the last couple of items that we're going to go over today are just some updates from our committees. And this is really very prevalent because as we move through the next couple of months, we have our two very large events that we do every year coming up. That's going to need some, I need to share some information with you guys about the planning of those. First of which is going to be our 2024 Home and Garden Show. So this is our biggest event. This is something that we do every year. And I want to preface before we kind of go into this is with the election of our new at-large member, Katrina. So I've been kind of coordinating this event along with the Rain Barrel program sale for the last couple of years. And with Katrina kind of taking over, she's going to be taking over the events committee. So if you have any questions about these two particular programs, make sure that you include Katrina on any emails. I am just dumping all of my knowledge into her right now to take these over. So I'll be assisting, but Katrina is going to be your point person for these two events. So for the Home and Garden Show, so I was mentioned earlier, the event is going to be January 19th through the 21st. So that's a Friday through Sunday. Same location that you're familiar with, OKC Fairgrounds, Bennett Center. We have the same exact booth. When Derek mentioned earlier about us doing that early bird payment, that allows us to retain the same booth location. So it makes it easy. We know what to prepare for. It's a corner location, which is fantastic, right on the main aisle. So it's very visible, but it's going to be 2046 is the booth number. For those of you that are going to volunteer as a booth volunteer, you will receive additional communication from Katrina about expectations, a map of the facility, so you know exactly where to go to get to that booth. But it's the same thing, same location. If you want to read more about the event, see what other vendors are there, as a volunteer, once your shift's over, if you want to get there early, you can walk around, visit the other vendors, exhibitors that are there. You can see that on their website. As part of our payment, our booth payment, we also are granted an exhibitor listing. So that's where we put our deals. It has links to our social media webpage, a little description about who we are, what we do. So that's a very nice addition as part of our booth payment. You can find that through this link as well that's up here if you're interested. Now, our booth display, we've been very consistent in what our booth display has been the last several years. So this is kind of a breakdown of which MS4 is providing what item. As far as COSWA goes, over the years, we've purchased a table cover. We have a fantastic banner that is displayed above the booth. And as well as Rebecca, we mentioned we purchased our bags specifically for this event. We generally give away about 1,000 bags, so having 1,200 should set us through this event. Now, Norman has been fantastic. You guys have been our rock stars for providing the bulk of the display over the years. So we have the carpeting. There's also a rain barrel and stand to help us advertise our next big event after the Home and Garden Show, which is our annual rain barrel sale. This allows people to allows us to not only start advertising for that, but it allows people to actually see one of the rain barrels in person. That's one of the biggest concerns we have. They want to know what they're going to be buying before they actually order. So we will have the rain barrel and a stand, one of the accessories there. And then we also have that faux home exterior. So people can kind of see how you connect a rain barrel to your gutter system. It allows you to talk about those different accessories that our vendor provides, whether it's a flex elbow or a diverter kit. You can talk about that if people have questions. Oklahoma City, we have a brochure tower. So all of these items that we're requesting from you, your literature, that's where we're going to have them displayed. We also have some tabletop displays that Edmund's going to be providing for us. If anybody has any other equipment or displays that they're interested in providing, please let us know. This is just an introductory list. One thing we're doing a little differently this year is generally we have pre-assembled our bags. Everybody, we just pack it all into one bag and we just hand them out to people. It is a little wasteful because obviously everybody that we hand a bag to, if they live in Oklahoma City, they may not, be interested in the services provided by Norman or Midwest City or vice versa. So what we've decided to do, instead of pre-assembling the bags will just be a standalone, but we are asking if you want to contribute your own literature, maybe 1 to 2 items, staple those together, provide that to COSWA, whether it's Holly, myself, or Katrina, we can come to you. I know several communities provided some today, so we're going to have those to be ready for the booth setup. But if you are interested, just make sure you get that to us by January 12th. Booth setup is Wednesday, January 17th. So that does give us a few days to collect everything, pack it up, and be ready to include it when we set up the booth at the actual event. During the event, our booth volunteers, if we have residents come up to us and they say, "Hi, I'm from Midwest City. What information do you have for me?" We can direct them to the items that Midwest City's provided to us. So far, we have heard from ODOT, Edmund, and I did receive some items from Julie Shannon from Yukon today as well. So if you have any items, I know, Katrina, you sent out an email requesting that information. So if you haven't responded to her yet, please do so, so we know kind of what material we have to expect. We do have the online sign up. This is the way that we started doing it a couple of years ago. We use the free service from Sign Up Genius. This is the QR code that takes you directly to the online sign up. I know many of you have signed up already, but we still do have several volunteer positions, shifts available for all 3 days. There's 1 shift left on Friday in the evening, and then the remaining shifts are on Saturday and Sunday. So please use that QR code. If you're not comfortable using a code, just email Katrina. She can send you the direct link so you can sign up. Now, I know the last couple of years, there's been some questions. We've had some first-time volunteers that don't quite know what to expect. But I wanted to kind of go over some of the expectations, and these are not just COSWA expectations. These are actual rules laid down by show management as that exhibitors are expected to abide by. First one, of course, is dress professionally. If you have a branded polo or t-shirt from your community, I would recommend wearing something like that. And as far as presence at the booth, so the reason that we ask for 2 volunteers per shift is so one person can always be at the booth. So, try to schedule your breaks so, you're not both going to the restroom or getting lunch at the same time. At least have one person stay at the booth at all times. And I can't emphasize this next one enough. If during your shift, remain in the confines of your booth, of your 10 by 10 booth area. They really ask that you do not proceed into the aisle. Do not approach, the attendees. If they are interested, they will come to you and ask you questions. But the word they use is please don't harass the attendees. And you just kind of put yourself in their position. We've all gone to shows and we never like the kind of pushy, exhibitors that come out and try to push their product on you. Our message is a little different than most of the exhibitors. We're not trying to sell you something, we're trying to educate you and let you win a free rain barrel, but they don't necessarily know that. So stay in the confines of your booth, wait for them to come to you. One other thing is that within the last couple of years, we can buy electricity for our booth. After we decided not to move forward with having to pumping the rainwater through the gutter into the barrel and recirculating. So we haven't been buying the electricity. It does cost a bit more, but when you come for your shift, make sure you're not attempting to charge your cell phone through some of the electrical outlets, because if that is observed, then COSWA will be charged. So as you come, make sure all your electronics are fully charged. Please do not use the electricity at the booth. Another aspect that they ask you is to keep any personal items out of sight. So don't leave your backpack, your bag on top of the table, on the floor. Make sure it's tucked under the table or behind the display. And that goes for the giveaway totes as well. We will have a lot of totes that have our bags in them and the other giveaways and brochures provided by MS4s. Make sure all of that is undercover, whether it's behind the display or under the table, but none of that can be visible. Relating to your ID badges. So we will have a set amount of exhibitor badges that all volunteers, when you arrive for your shift, will pick up at the exhibitor booth in the main lobby. We are only given a very limited amount of those badges. So if you are the last person of the day and you do not have the first shift the next day, make sure you return that badge to that exhibitor booth before you leave. Otherwise, the next shift may not have adequate number of badges. It's varied. Sometimes we've had up to 6. I know Holly mentioned last year there were more than that. Is that right, Holly? Yeah, the number of badges. Okay, so last year we had a lot more. Usually in the years prior, they've limited it. So it just kind of depends what the show management does for us. I also want to remind everybody, if you do have a shift, please try to arrive at least 15 minutes before your shift, just to be respectful of the volunteers that have already been there for 2 hours. Consider your travel time, finding parking, walking into the building. It's a large parking lot. It may take you 5 minutes to walk from your car to the inside. Then you got to find the booth. So just try to give yourself an adequate amount of time to get to start your shift. Now, as far as that was kind of the show's responsibilities, but I wanted to kind of go into what's expected of you once you get there. I know I've had some questions like, well, what am I supposed to do? I'm here for 2 hours, what's expected? Really just, we will have, like we've been talking about, we're going to have giveaways, whether it's literature or, stress balls, you name it. Just make sure that if people approach you, be a resource, be able to answer questions about COSWA's programs, whether it's the Rain Barrel Sale, if they have a specific question about your community and you happen to be there, you'll be able to share information about what your community is doing, what services can you provide them. We'll be handing out those bags, brochures. Restocking is really important. I know sometimes it does get very busy. Last year we had over 16,000 attendees. A portion of those do come by our booth. So I know you're gonna be busy. Both of you might be busy, but as time allows, try to restock the table. Definitely if you are the last shift. If you are the last 2 people there, make sure that your table is restocked. And I'm not saying to dump everything we got on top of the table, but just make sure it's stocked adequately. That way, when the next shift arrive the next morning, they're not scrambling to restock the table before everybody starts coming in. We will be giving a rain barrel away as a giveaway. So that's going to be our big draw. So we will have 1 rain barrel. We will have postcards, 2 different postcards. One of them is going to look like this. So this is the one we used last year. So there's a QR code that will take them directly to an online survey. It's very few questions. They can either do it when they're standing there with you, or you can give these postcards to them. They can take it with them and they can do the survey later. We'll usually leave it open for either a couple of days to a week. I haven't decided yet, but they will have some time to complete the survey and be entered to win the rain barrel. Last year we were able to have 3 rain barrels to give 1 away per day for an attendee per day. Because our rain barrel grant program was so successful, we are limited. So we just have the 1 for the entire weekend, but we are still going to be able to offer that to the attendees. We will also have a second postcard that is related to the actual rain barrel sale. You guys will be familiar with this one. Those of you that have done this before, we will, now that we've gotten all the updated dates and times for the interested MS4s that want to participate in the annual sale, all that information is going to be on the back. So this is something that you can also hand to people if they're interested in doing the survey. If you don't happen to win the survey, hey, you can buy a barrel through the program through your community. So we will have those available for you to give away as well. The biggest point about us getting out in the public and educating is also to help us meet our permit requirements, right? We need that education metrics. So, and I know we're going to be very busy, and last year it was challenging to keep track of how many people that you've spoken with. But as you think of it, just do a check mark. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. It can just be little tallies. If you're really good about keeping track of it in your head, I am not, but if that's you, let's do that. Let's see, talked about that. Another very helpful piece that will be useful to you, if you receive questions about the rain barrel sale, whether it is about the rain barrel itself, if I don't have gutters, can I still get a rain barrel? All the answers to those questions are on this form. So we're going to have several of these that are laminated. They are not to leave the booth. Do not let someone walk off with these. But this is just as a reference for our booth volunteers. These are every single question and answer that's on the sheet is a result of a question we have received from residents in the past. So these are very relevant. Some of them are some we've just provided, but it's all very useful. Everything from the size of the barrel, the warranty, how do I maintain my barrel, all of that is on here. It's a really pretty thorough information. And I know from talking with our past volunteers, this was like the holy grail. If they didn't know an answer to a question, it was usually on here. So this will be there. Okay, so that was Home and Garden Show. Does anybody have any questions before we go on to the rain barrel sale? Okay. We have received some confirmation back from MS4s that expressed interest. So right now we have 10 with 1 tentative. We haven't heard back yet about that, but we should soon. But these are who we have on record right now that want to have their own in-person rain barrel distribution events. We have Edmond, Norman, Noble and Moore are going to partner. Bethany, Mustang, and Yukon are partnering. And then Midwest City, Stillwater, and Oklahoma City are having individual events. And they are ranged from the beginning of April all the way to mid-May. So this is all this information is what's going to go on back of that postcard. So as far as what are the next steps with regard to this program, making sure that all the data that we've collected from the MS4s are accurate. We will provide that to our vendor, which is Upcycle Products again. They will be creating individual online sale forms for each city. So we're hoping to have those online by January 1st. That's usually when we tell everybody to start advertising. COSWA will be assisting, so we are going to provide these postcards. We'll be advertising on all of our platforms. And then we definitely recommend that each individual city that's having an event, you know, sky's the limit, you know, put an article in your utility bill newsletter. If you can create a promo with your marketing department to put on TV, do that. Social media, make a press release, you know, just use your imagination, but get the information out there. The cost will remain the same for the regular overflow rain barrel at $69.50. Now, last year, for the first time, Upcycle did provide a very large tote, 275 gallons. There was some excitement about this initially. It is very heavy. It is very awkward. You know, at least a minimum of 3 people to lift and maneuver these things. Now, this is speaking from our perspective from Oklahoma City. We will not be offering these as part of our online sale page. It's just a liability issue. We are choosing not to offer that and put our staff into managing these. If you want to offer it, it's definitely up to your community. Big tip though, if you are going to offer this, when you get that final sales sheet from Upcycle before your event, call every single person that ordered one of these. Make sure they have a big enough vehicle, trailer, and they are prepared to tie it down. Otherwise, they will show up. They will be in a sedan, and they will not have tie downs, and they will want you to help them lift it onto their roof. Don't recommend that. So just keep that in mind as you guys are making decisions about what products you want to have on your online order form. For the last couple of years, we have offered an extension to the actual in-person rain barrel event, and this was just due to ongoing interest. You know, you'd have the week after your event closed, you start receiving phone calls. Oh my God, I missed this event. You know, can I still get a rain barrel? So this is in response to that. Now, in 2022, we had 1 sale out of that, and then when we this year we increased that into 7. So the question is, you know, how many of you are interested in continuing to offer this as an option to residents as your in-person events close? Just show of hands. Are you guys still interested in working with Upcycle to have an online order page to continue? Okay, so what I'm seeing too. Okay. So it seems like majority is saying they are not interested in continuing this. It's not a lot of, pressure on the MS4s. It's, COSWA was doing the sole bit of the advertising. So based on this, maybe won't continue offer it this year. All right, any questions from the events committee? Yes, Wayne.
Yeah.
Possibly. So I spoke with Abigail a couple of days ago. The reason that they moved from friend to affiliate was specifically to participate in the program. She was presenting to a board Tuesday night. I haven't heard from her yet today, but I offered myself to talk with the board over the phone if needed. But I gave her all of our resources, training materials, so that way she could present the program. If she can get them on board, then Muskoge's going to be participating for the first time, which is going to be great. Okay, any other questions? That's a good thought. We don't have even that on here, so that's something we can definitely add. I update this every year, so you always get different questions. Excellent. Yeah, it's a great point. We can definitely include that. Okay, mhm. So as far as setup goes, Katrina will be the sole point of contact between Upcycle and COSWA. So she'll get all the information needed from you. And then Katrina's going to be working with Rich. He has a third party that actually creates the sale pages for us. And then he'll let us know when they are active. He will provide that information to Katrina, and then she will send that out to everybody that's participating. So that way you will know, hey, this is our order form, and you can include that in all your outreach material.
All the dates. So I would give them about, I don't know, probably 3 weeks, 2 weeks.
It depends. It's the third party is what slows it down. So it's really on their time scale.
Yeah, we have all the information. Starting. I'll let you guys know. I'll let you know.
It was just, just give everybody a heads up. It was late last year. So, or this year for 2023. I don't think he had the actual forms online and active until maybe mid-January, maybe a little bit later. So, hopefully we'll be able to get it on time today. If there's no more questions, I'll go ahead and just go real quickly through outreach committee updates. So this is where we're talking about our billboard and radio advertising, what the plans are moving forward. So we've kind of, talked about this quite a bit. Our largest item is our advertising, and we use this not only to advertise for our rain barrel event, we also try to use it as an educational tool. So this year, we issued that a survey recently where we're asking your ideas. What kind of topics do you want to see for future advertisements? Last year, it was water conservation, pesticide use, grass clippings, and pet waste. So the radio ads, the billboard design and content was all specific to those 4 topics. These images are what the billboard designs look like. Some of you have seen these before. The great thing with working with Tyler Media is we have certain spots, right, on each billboard, but you can have up to 4 designs per spot. We didn't know that before. We weren't making use of that. So now we can run 4 different designs in the same period that we used to only run 1. So it's 4 times the education, 4 times the exposure. Just to give you an idea of what we've done the last couple of years, this is a total summary from 21 through 23. So for 23, we did reintroduce billboards. In 22, we did not have any. But as from 21 to 23, we expanded from only 2 billboards to 5. So that definitely helped reach more area of the OKC Metro and provided more benefit to our members because you had these billboards running in your community or near to your community. We had 4 radio stations. We also had a new radio station, Jake FM, allowed us to reach a different demographic. We had never done a country station before. Again, new, hopefully for new audience members. We had 8 radio ads running. And again, it was those same 4 topics that everybody chose to record a brief 30-second ad on. We had Choctaw, Edmond, Midwest City, Norman, OKC, ODOT, Spencer, and Yukon. These resulted in, over 3 million different impressions between the 2 programs. So this is, if you're participating, these are metrics that your city can use as part of meeting the requirements of the permit. Now, 2024 advertising campaign, this is sort of in limbo, pending on the information that Derek shared with you about the strategic planning committee or strategic planning meeting. We want to make sure that, our outreach programs are in line with what you guys want to see, with what you need. So until we kind of finalize a lot of that, it's going to kind of stay in limbo. But if we pursue kind of stay similar to what we've done, schedule similar to 2023, 5 billboards, 4 radio stations, based on the survey results, we'll base those topics around that. So just to be safe, start considering what topics that you guys want to see us, develop this program around. And if your MS4 wants to record a 30-second ad for the radio. Derek mentioned that we have a new platform for social media, so we now have a YouTube channel. Yay, yes. We're expanding. It was a labor of love and I'm excited about it, but all of our recordings, special training events with our partners, there's 4 videos on there right now that's available to you from past trainings. So please check it out. Please subscribe. We're, like Facebook, this is something we're trying to grow and become more active on. So we would really appreciate if you guys could subscribe and help us. Going back to Facebook, which was our first platform that we created. Last time we met in December, our last party, we had 41 followers. I'm really excited to tell you that actually that number as of today is inaccurate. We now have 107 followers as of about 10 minutes ago. So that's so we're growing. This is, over, 100% increase here. So this is fantastic. But that's a QR code that'll take you right to Facebook. If you're not already following us, please scan that. There's also a signage at the sign-in table for you to access it. We'd love to have you as followers. If you have any post ideas, we accept job announcements. If your MS4 is doing any type of programs that you want to help us advertise, I know Blue Thumb, anytime you guys have an event, we definitely try to push that for you guys.
Appreciate
So just let us know. I'm happy to post anything. And we're really close to being done, guys. Web page, we've made some updates to that. I know we've had some questions. If I'm going to have an event, if I have engineers requesting PDHs, how do I offer that to them? And the simple answer in OKC, or in Oklahoma, the licensure board, what they require is some just very basic documentation. You don't have to have any special permits. You don't have to have pre-approval for these courses. All that they ask is that you keep track of who's attending. So a simple sign-in sheet, providing an agenda, that way that the engineers can provide that to the licensure board. But there is a very detailed how-to on COSWA's webpage under resources. So that's something new, another bit of guidance we've provided for you if you want to offer your own training to draw in the designers. Those directions are on there for you. We also have a new page where all the e-newsletters are stored. So anytime if you missed one, you can always go back and look at it. There's also a new page for outside resources. It lists special links to certain podcasts, other educational references and resources. So please check that out. That's brand new just within the last couple of weeks. And we also combined the agendas and minutes for both the membership meetings and the board meetings. So instead of having to search for both, they're all on the same page. I had received some questions, it was hard to find. So we did that to kind of make it easier for you guys to find that information. Okay, Derek, I'm sorry I went through that kind of fast. I just want to make sure we got you guys out of here on time. Does anybody have any questions for the events or outreach committee? If you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to me for any outreach committee questions and Katrina for any of the events.
I have 7 minutes.
I'm sorry, Derek. I tried.
You're good. You're good. Okay, well, I'm just going to give you the regulatory and training updates. I have one person left in this room who's on the committee, Michelle. So, and then the other person is Miles Mungle. Listen, this committee is the least desired committee to be on. I beg you, come and be on this committee because it's exciting. Training and regulations. Come on, doesn't get better than that. Anyway. Just real quick, a couple of things we're working on. We're researching the National Stormwater Institute. National Municipal Stormwater Alliance. We did get a response back from them. We're seeing if COSWA wants to be involved in this organization and spend the $250, but we really want to know what we're getting out of it before we do this. The other thing we're planning is to bring EnviroCert into town this spring. Haven't done it yet, but I got a lot of questions from the committee, like, can we actually help not just have the test proctored here, but also bring in a course? And if we bring in a course, how much can we kind of offset those costs to the membership? We are going to be adding an item to both our board meeting and membership meeting agendas, which is for state updates. We really want to give the state a chance to use this as a platform to let us know what changes are coming. So we have, we at least have some knowledge of before it becomes reality. Then the biggest thing that I'm excited about is Dr. Vogel and Schussler, sorry, has agreed to send some of their students over for presentations. So I'm excited about this. They're working on great research projects. I think we're going to get to hear everything from undergrad to some grad student presentations. They're going to be short. They're going to be great. Gives these folks an opportunity to present to us and us to possibly pick up and gain some new research information. Anyway, I'll be contacting both OU and OSU to try to get that worked out here in the next few weeks. Our next meeting is, future training. We talked about as a committee, really want to kind of focus on asset management, which is something that we all need to be talking about. And also, we're going to try to start announcing some of the laboratory certification training that's being offered through DEQ. So you're probably going to see that in some of Rebecca's emails. Our next training committee meeting is on December 20th. So more to come. With that, 3 minutes early, I make a motion to adjourn. Holly, second. You guys don't even have to raise your hands. Thank you. If I don't see any of you guys, have a great Merry Christmas. Bye. Oh, yeah.
Jamie Schussler was online.
Excellent. I didn't, stop.
Yes. Thanks for joining us online, friends. If anybody's still there, have a great day.
Hey.